Hello everybody, Bad Retirement Planning here, and this is my third video, and in it I'm going to go over two of my main investments, AVGE and AVGV. My prime ETF that I'm investing in this go-round is AVGE. I do have a small holding in AVGV, and I'll kind of explain that later. And as we go over why I've picked these funds and what I'm hoping they'll do for me. So right now, my traditional IRA has the current holdings. I have 1,277 shares of AVGE, 291 shares of AVGV, 746 shares of SCHD, 716 shares of SCHY, 298 shares of BSV, and 305 shares of VBIL. There's no consistent investment strategy with this, right? It's total market, funds, some short-term bonds, and some dividend plays. And I'm really trying to figure out how and why I'm doing things. And that's kind of silly to say, but for most of my life, I just put my money in whatever seemed hot. And as I learn more about the market, I've been kind of split between dividend investing and going all in on the tilted portfolio or just doing the bobblehead thing. And my main reason, I think honestly the bobblehead is probably the easiest, smartest thing to do. I mean, if you just want to be honest, they invest consistently, 2 or 3 fund portfolio, set it and forget it, don't look at it. And then when it's time to retire, you're ready to go. If my personality allowed for that, that's what I would do. But I am a invariant tinkerer. I don't want to say paranoid, but I'm skeptical of the markets. And it's easy for me to want to pull my money out, try to time the market, try to get on the latest things. And the bobblehead method, I just don't think would satisfy my tinkering enough. And I think eventually I'd get bored and try to make it better. So right now, I've kind of split the differences between factor tilted portfolio, which is essentially the bobblehead method with a small tilt towards value, profit, and small cap based on the Pharma French paper. AVG is a total market fund, and it's similar towards Vanguard VT, except for the aforementioned tilts. The difference between AVGE and VT, AVGE is actively managed. It has a higher expense ratio, 0.28%, versus Vanguard's VT's 0.06%. Pretty big difference, honestly. It does have the tilt versus VT being completely market weighted. AVGE is 69% domestic, 31% foreign. And it's really a fund of funds. It holds other Avantis funds to get the blends that they're looking for. VT is 61% domestic, 39% foreign. It holds about 10,000 different stocks. If my editing skills have improved, hopefully right now you're looking at a chart that kind of shows the difference between AVGE and VT and showing what these tilts really do for you, shifting towards smaller companies and more towards value. Performance-wise, over the past year, AVGE has outperformed VT by about 3%. However, over the longer term, VT has done very well in comparison. When factor tilts do show up, they can show up after long periods of underperformance. And honestly, after looking at some of the research papers, no one knows if these factors will really play an important part going forward. It's really tough to say if we're going to get our money's worth. So I also have AVGV, a much smaller amount. I think it's 10% of my portfolio. And it is very similar to AVGE, except it is even more tilted towards smaller companies, value, and profit. And up here I have a chart that'll kind of show that. If you compare AVGE and AVGV, over the past year, AVGV has been doing a little bit better, about 3% better. But once again, during the last 10 years, that has not been true. It's only been over this last year that it's begun to show up, if, those factors coming into play possibly. But who knows if that'll hold up or how long it'll hold up for. So basically, AVGE pros and cons. If factors still exist, it may outperform VT. It may protect a little bit against concentration risk. Our current market is very concentrated in the top 5 or 7 companies. And so by focusing on smaller cap stocks, it kind of shifts away from that a little bit. And since it's actively managed, it maybe have a little hedge against the passive market. If too much of the stock market is passive, then there's some idea that it may no longer reflect the true value of the market. I don't know how true that is. I don't have a giant brain. I'm not an economist, but by AVGE being a little bit actively managed, it's really, I don't know how much the market cap fund with tilts, but you hope that that kind of leads away from that passive risk, possibly, if it's really a thing. Cons. So low fees are correlated with better long-term performance, and this definitely leans in favor of VT. Vanguard has a super long track record of treating their investors well and doing the right thing, and so, Avantis is somewhat new. And then if the factor tilts don't matter, then essentially I've wasted a bunch of money. AVGV has all the same, it has a little bit extra tilt, so if the factors are real, it gives me a little bump. But if the factors do not pay off, then I have wasted even more money, which I really can't afford to do because I am not wealthy. I don't make a whole lot of cash, and I need every advantage I can get. Anyway, it's tough. It's tough deciding what to do in the markets. Everybody's looking for an edge. And I think in the end, the most important thing is to be in the market, to stay in the market, and find an investment strategy that is both academically sound, but also jives with your personality. You have to know yourself. After as many years as I've been trying and usually failing to beat the market, I've kind of come to grips with what I'm looking for and what I want. So for my next video, I'm going to cover my 2 dividend funds and why I have some of my portfolio in dividends, but why I did not choose to go 100% dividend investments. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I'll get better at this. Brand new to this YouTube stuff, it's kind of tough. I apologize for the noise. I shoot in my garage. It's hot. And also apologize for the noise. My neighbors are moving. I live in kind of a poor neighborhood. People are usually trying to get out as fast as they can. I would like to, but as I mentioned previously, not a whole lot of extra house money sitting around right now. So doing what I can with what I got. So take care, keep pushing forward, and hopefully we'll all be rich together. See you later.